All right, good evening. We'll call this meeting of the Tangipahoa Parish School Board to order this April the 9th, 2024. I ask that you please, members, if you would join the meeting using your devices, and ask that you please call the roll.
Ms. Rose Dominguez. Present. Mr. Brett Duncan.
Present.
Mr. Tom Toller.
Here.
Ms. Robin Abrams. Mr. Jerry Moore.
Here.
Ms. Janice Foltz Richards.
Present.
Mr. Glenn Westmoreland.
Present.
Mr. Joey Piazza.
Here.
Mr. Trent Anthony.
Here.
All right, if you would please stand. We have a flag, I believe, in the back there. If you would please stand, join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. Unless we have any volunteers to sing the national anthem.
Dr. Cusell?
No, but I know somebody right here.
Yeah, I know a guy. We asked for a volunteer, but it looks like he just.
You want to sing? You want to lead us in the national anthem?
Come on.
Or any?
Oh, we do have.
We got a volunteer. Look at
He
that.
can sing. You got to get a treat.
All
You
right.
want to be a treat.
Let's
Yeah.
make sure we get the microphone.
Yes. Right there.
I just talked with him in the back about that.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Right.
Did it?
I move we just go home then.
Yeah, we're done. We're good. Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
I know.
that's how talented our parish is. Just in a
right.
group of 20 people, you got a rock star like that.
That's right.
All right, next item on the agenda is to consider approval of the board minutes from our meeting of March the 19th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
All right, is there a second? Motion is made by Mr. Piazza, seconded by Mr. Westmoreland. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion is agreed to and the minutes are adopted. Next item on the agenda is to recognize Whitney Wallace from our parish chairperson from the Tangipahoa Parish LSU Ag Center Extension Office. Who is handling that for us, Ms. Stilling?
I don't think she's here.
Did Ms. Wallace come?
I don't see her here.
Okay. So we will table that over and maybe try to get her here at some subsequent meeting. If anybody does see her come in, maybe wave at me and we'll pull it back up. Huh? Yeah, maybe she might not have gotten the memo to come here. All right, next item on the agenda is to consider the Kentwood High School athletic improvements. I believe it's for the approval of the architects. Mr. Valerita?
Yes.
You have your microphone.
All right.
There we go.
Yeah, this is for the approval of architects for the bleacher renovation and bathroom renovation at Kentwood High Stadium. The winning architect was Gasaway Bankston for this project.
All right, the motion is made by Mr. Westmoreland to adopt the administration's recommendation, seconded by Mr. Toller. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any questions from Mr. Valerita? Ms. Dominguez?
For the
The Kentwood bleacher and the football field, the bleachers, and the restrooms on both sides, visitors and the home side.
What will we be doing with the old bleachers?
Send them to the scrapyard, I reckon.
Okay, because I know that our little bitty league has needs of them.
Okay.
So-
Well, let's talk offline after this and see if we can salvage some of them.
All right, Mr. Toller?
One question, this is just to hire the architect to do the plans, because
Right.
we haven't decided as a board on what we're doing,
Right, correct.
right? 'Cause, I mean, I'm still,
This is for the drawings, yeah.
in my mind, I'm still thinking of making something ADA accessible and not replacing the whole thing, but that's just,
Okay, this is just to get the architect
The
selected.
architect on board being
All right. Any other questions? All right. I have not received any requests for public input on this agenda item, so we'll call the question at this time and ask members to vote your devices. So this is a
I did.
motion. Sorry.
Who made the motion for
Mr. Westmoreland makes the motion. Mr. Toller seconded. Thank you.
Voting is now open. Voting is now closed. Motion passes unanimously.
All right, next item on the agenda is the selection of our architects for the project at Laranja Elementary Auditorium. These are Hurricane Ida repairs. This is to design the Hurricane Ida repairs, and it amounts to essentially almost a wholesale renovation of the auditorium.
close
Mr.
there.
Mr. Valerita?
Yes, this is for the architects to start the drawings for all the renovation work from Ida and the damages from Ida at the old Laranja auditorium.
And who was the,
Oh, I'm sorry.
The administration.
The winning architect was Holly and Smith.
all right. So Mr. Westmoreland makes a motion to adopt the administration's recommendation selecting Holly and Smith, seconded by Mr. Piazza. Is there any discussion or questions from the board?
I did.
Mr. Moore?
But listen, I know that we have a committee that votes on these different particular aspects of qualifications for each one of our architects who are selected. My problem with Holly and Smith is based on, I mean, I look at the work that they've done with the alternative school, and then the big issue that we have right now with the roof on Ponchatoula High School. I believe that Holly and Smith have something to prove, to show us that they're going to be able to, perform in a manner and at a level that we're going to be able to lend that confidence to their ability to get things done effectively without fail. And for me, they haven't met that. I'm very disappointed in the delay which I consider negligence as far as the alternative school is concerned. And with the current issues that we're having with the roof at Ponchatoula High School, my confidence level is not at a peak. I mean, maybe something that's happened since, since those two projects that they won, that they've not been sufficient at. So maybe something has happened, and maybe some of the other board members can expound on this, to give us all some reassurance that they're going to be able to handle this. And when I look at the scores that were given, I consider Mr. Valarudo, Terry, I consider your professionalism and your work experience. I place a high value and a high level of confidence, and I note that your skill, that your assessment of the architects that are being considered here. I noted that, Sizzler, Thompson, Brown Architects, SCNZ Architects, which are, I think both these architects were on the list when I was examining the last time we were doing these assessments. And I would agree that those two architects, I know we're trying to stay with our locals to help them out.
Yes, sir.
But until those locals step up, I didn't voice an opinion about Gasaway, even though some of the, I felt like the, I just went along with the high scores, but with Holly and Smith, I do have my objections, and if any other board member would have an opinion to assure me, before we vote, I'm all ears.
Okay.
Well, I share the concerns with Mr. Moore too, with Holly and Smith. Where are we as relates to the conclusion of of who's taking the responsibility for Ponchatoula roof? And if we can't solve that, then why are we awarding another?
Right now, the Ponchatoula roof is with attorneys and litigation right now, and moving forward with that aspect of it. So I can't expound, publicly about where we're at with that, more than other than we're in litigation or entering into litigation with it. This is just my recommendation, and you as a board have to discuss it to come up with what you would like to decide.
Okay. Any other comments or questions, Mr. Anthony?
I'll make a quick comment. So, the scores are right here. So, like I told Mr. Valaruda, I scored tightly. So, one problem that I have with the scoring rubric is that if somebody didn't do work for us in the past, they got nothing. So, these scores might be a little bit different if they were weighted differently and people are being penalized for having not done work in the past. All that being said, I think Holly and Smith does great work. I'm not criticizing them. They actually led and both this one and Bankston led in the last one, so I don't regret having weighted them that way, and I think I was very fair. But it does take all the other ones out of contention, in my opinion. I don't understand how anybody else scored anything differently because I followed the rubric exactly as it was designed, but people lost points for not having done work in the past.
In your opinion?
And I'm not questioning the opinion of any of the people who scored these companies.
I'm talking about the way that he interpreted how to score the rubric. Mm-hmm. It was each individual person's opinion of the rubric. That's the way the rubric is set up. It's not set up to me to develop your opinion for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if somebody hasn't done work in the past, they receive 0. They have no chance of winning.
That's in your opinion,
That's why I don't understand how any of these scores make sense, because if, for example, not calling anybody out, but let's just say the first person on this list, how was Holly and Smith voted lower than the 15-point section where they couldn't have got a single point? You know what I'm saying? So the scoring rubric to me is not sufficient. So maybe that's something we need to look into as well.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm not criticizing you at all. I'm just saying it does take, in my opinion, it put our local people that have done work in the past on top of the pack.
Any other questions or comments on the motion? All right, Mr. Westmoreland has called the question. There's no public input offered on this action item. Ask members to vote your devices. Again, the motion is made by Mr. Westmoreland, seconded by Mr. Piazza, to adopt the administration's recommendation, or the committee's recommendation.
The voting is now open.
It's not coming up on mine, so, no.
Mr. Moore votes no. Yeah, let's get this.
All right, voting is now closed. Motion passes.
All right, there are 2 votes no. Ms. Moore and Ms. Foltz vote no. The rest of the board vote yes. Mr. Piazza, you had a question?
I do. While we have you, Mr. Velruda, I know we got our monthly report kind of late this evening, so I haven't looked over a lot of them. I've looked over a few. But I see the common denominator here is when you look at general notes, it says existing contracts be amended or aligned with new contracts to be in place. I'm seeing that on a lot of projects that we had already green lighted.
Which page are you
So like
talking
I'm
about?
on page 1, on phase 2 projects.
Phase 2 projects? Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So that is not on our agenda. We're not going to take that up right now, but we will have a capital outlay committee where that will specifically be an agenda item to be discussed. Okay, but it would not be appropriate for us to discuss that now with it not being on the agenda. Okay? All right. Our next item on the agenda, though, is to refer our to policy, our guidelines for procuring professional services for capital and other projects. I believe specifically, Mr. Valaruta, the objective there is to try and increase the cap in which we would fall under the small capital outlay projects.
Correct.
Okay. And so we're just asking to refer that to policy so that we can consider that and get it back for final approval. And hopefully that will help us to move some of these projects along a little faster. The goal is to raise the cap in which we would use the procedure for small capital outlay projects. The cap right now for that less rigid procurement for architects is 1.5 million.
It's 500,000 right now.
500,000, and you wanted to
raise it to 2 million.
right. So that will be the specific proposal that we'll be bringing to you when we bring it to policy. Okay. It's in this procedure that we approved. So if we want to change that cap, we have to adopt a different policy or a different procedure.
It doesn't say anything about money in this policy at all. Guidelines for procedures
Yeah.
that I'm seeing.
All right. Well, we're just going to refer it to the policy, and then we'll try to address that when we get to it.
Second.
All right, motion is made by Mr. Westmoreland, seconded by Mr. Piazza. Any other discussion on the motion to refer? I think it's under definitions, Rose. If you go to definitions, small capital outlay. All right. And we'll find it. All right, question has been called for. Ask members to vote your devices. That's because you don't have the whole.
That's all they say.
Oh, well, that's why. It's about 15 pages. No, it's just Cindy's not here. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Moore earlier had said about the alternative schools was Holly and Smith. That was Castaway James.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's Castaway Bank?
Yes, sir. I just wanted
The alternative school.
for the record.
Thank you for making that correction.
Oh, I stand corrected. Thank you, Terry.
Did the votes come through?
Mr. Moore?
You vote yes on this motion to refer?
Yes.
Mr. Moore votes yes.
Voting is not closed, motion passed unanimously.
All right. Madam Superintendent, any other general updates?
Yes, our update for tonight is that after monitoring the weather situation today, we have made a decision to close our schools tomorrow. You know, the weather, making decisions about closures is, I would say, one of the most difficult decisions to make because you're making decisions based on a prediction. And more importantly than that is the timing of the prediction, which is to me a bigger deal because the timing impacts buses on the road in the mornings and afternoon. And, you know, our last storm that we had, as I remember, I don't know, 6 months ago, you know, we had buses on the road where the storm was supposed to be 2 hours later, and it was all happening when kids were on buses. And so I said that day, we're never doing this again, where we put kids at risk for not knowing for sure. So to err on the side of safety, we have made the decision to close tomorrow. They're saying that the weather should hit this area about 8, but not as much confidence in the timing. And so it could be 6 or 7 when buses are en route. So we just don't want to take that chance. So close tomorrow. We have sent out the messages on social media, on our website, and we have also emailed all of our students, their families, and our employees. Also on our coffee talk today, we had Miss Dina Spears in technology. It was an excellent presentation of all the ways that we communicate with our families and our employees and students. So if you have a chance to look at that one, it would be a great one. I noticed that our followers on our Facebook page for the district is now hit the 20,000 mark. And before, I can remember just, you know, a year or so ago, it was like 16,000 following our district page. Now we're up to 20. So I think that our families are starting to follow our district page, look at our website, which is very user-friendly. By the way, Christy Roquin does a lot of the work on our website. It's very easy to find things. When we work with individuals that are outside our school district, they commend us on how easy it is to find things on our website when they're looking for it. So today's coffee talk was really about getting information to our stakeholders, how they can find information, and how they can stay in touch with the latest information from our system. So those are my 2 updates tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to board member comments. Here, I'll just pass it.
Here, use that handheld one.
We'll start with Mr. Westmoreland on the end then. Thank you.
Glad to be here at A.B. High School tonight, enjoying all of these visits to all the schools. I'd just like to tell everybody to please stay safe tomorrow. It is a difficult decision to make. We'd like to have our students here, but in these circumstances, we'd like to have you safe coming to school on Thursday. So take care tonight.
Good evening, everyone. As y'all can see, I'm dressed totally in strawberry today because it's Strawberry Festival week. And as a former chairman of the Strawberry Festival, I'm blessed to still be very involved in the Strawberry Festival. And it's going to be Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. All of the booths on the ground are local nonprofits. They sell products, and they give all the money to our kids for scholarships mostly, or they support other activities, give dictionaries to our 3rd graders. A multiple amount of money goes every year to our students. So please try to make it to the Strawberry Festival this weekend and support, you know, our local nonprofits, buy the strawberries from our local farmers, because without us doing this, they wouldn't have nearly the successful season as they normally have. So just wanted to remind everybody about that. Also, we're right in the middle of legislative session. There are a lot of bills right now that are majorly affecting education. And there's also an app you can put on your phone, and I have it on mine. I'm watching it all day during the day. It's a lot. It's called LALEGE. So Louisiana LEDs, and you can pull it up and watch what they're talking about all day, and you can reach out to your legislators on the app and everything and tell them what you would and would not like to see supported in your area. It's not just education. It's about a lot of things that are affecting Louisiana right now. So just want to encourage everybody to please keep up with the Legislative House and the Senate right now. And if there's something that you think is going to affect your area, whether it's municipality or whether it's education or government, anything, please reach out and let them know how you feel about it, because it's our voice that they're listening to.
Unlike Rose, I am from Punchtown, and I'm not wearing all my strawberries. And if you're not familiar, she wears them all the time. It's not just today. But yes, we have the Strawberry Festival that is going to be happening this weekend. Just to kind of echo what she said, that a lot of your vendors out there are nonprofits. They put a lot of money back into our schools and towards our kids. So please make an effort to go out and try to support it. Just like with our other fairs and festivals that we have across the parish, a lot of these guys put money back into the community and to the students. So please make an effort to go out there. I do also want to congratulate the boys basketball team that we won a championship. I don't think I got to do that last time, so I want to make sure to mention that. And since we're talking about Ponchatoula championships, Ponchatoula High softball are the 6/5A district champs 2 years in a row this year. So I just want to do a big shout out for them girls. They work very, very hard. Jeremy Harper does a great job with your coaching staff. So just wanted to give them their props and thank everybody for coming out tonight.
Great.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to A-Meat for hosting us tonight. We appreciate your hospitality, and we hope to get a chance to walk around a little bit before we leave tonight.
Mr. Moore?
Well, I want to welcome back all of the teachers and the students, even though that return to school has been briefly disrupted by being out of school tomorrow. But as always, I want to express my appreciation for all our teachers and encourage you to just be mindful that, that our children are the reason that we're here. Our children are the reason that this meeting is occurring tonight. I should say the education, our responsibility to educate our children. And I also want to give a shout out to the administration, the staff, and the principal, the coordinator, and the staff at the alternative school. I've been by there, and I think that the effect that they are having and have had, their ability to communicate with their children needs to be commended. And so with that, I'm going to just cut it short.
Good evening. I'd like to say thank you to the AV Warriors for hosting us tonight. District 8, you did good. Thank you. Also, for the North End, we know that we are severely in the red. So we want to say to you, don't just take this as an opportunity to be out of school tomorrow. Let's prepare. Let's prepare and hope for the better. But if you know that you need to find shelter, please go ahead and locate the local shelter or go and move in with a family member or something. Because if nothing else, we know how easily and quickly our lights go off up here. So let's take care of our children at home. Let's make sure that they're safe, and let's get through this as another storm.
All right, thank you also to Amite High School folks. I don't think I've ever been in this building before. It's a beautiful campus too. So I've been on the football field, so that's cool. But thank y'all for having us here. And otherwise, welcome back from Easter break. I really don't have a whole lot to say this week. It's having a week off with no parents and no students calling is very nice. And now we had Monday was, look, I don't mind hearing from them, but it's nice sometimes. So welcome back. Have a nice day off, but a safe day off tomorrow.
One other shout out. I have to shout out to Ms. Nadley. You did an awesome job.
Yeah.
We have to tell Ms. Cindy.
She passed the
test. She passed the test.
She made it through. All right. I have not received any requests for general public input, so we'll move on to our last item on the agenda, which is to consider the is that correct? Chandler? Okay, Chandler versus Tangipahoa Parish School Board. And I'll receive a motion at this time to enter into executive session to consider that matter. The motion is made by Mr. Westmoreland. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Toller. Hearing no objection, the motion is agreed to, and we'll enter into executive session at this time to consider Chandler versus Tangipahoa Parish School Board.
Channel 17, proudly serving the Florida parishes.
All right, meeting's called back to order. On the matter of Chandler versus Tangipahoa Parish School Board, I will accept a motion at this time to adopt council's recommendation. Motion is made by Mr. Westmoreland, seconded by Mr. Piazza. No additional discussion on the motion. We'll call the question. Ask members to vote your devices. No. Is there any objection on the motion? Hearing no objection, the motion is agreed to and adopted unanimously. There being no other business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned.